thank you very much for joining us today. So you have had a long and varied career at Nissan, a real car guy. Maybe you could talk about some of your background, some of the skill sets and perspectives that you've learned that you brought to the CEO position.
Well, I joined Nissan almost 25 years ago. I was born and raised in Mexico City. I'm a mechanical engineer by formation, family of engineers and car people. First, Nissan is a very popular company in Mexico. First factory outside of Japan was established in Mexico. So when I was around 15 or 16 years old, I discovered the 300 ZX. And this is one of the reasons that drove me to join Nissan. So I joined Nissan in Mexico as a product planner. Exactly 9 years ago, I was assigned to come to Japan in the capacity of a program director. And then I was appointed the vice president of product strategy and planning for Nissan globally, which was, first a really exciting opportunity for me. After that, I was appointed the chief planning officer. And then suddenly the big news came of, hey, we'll like you to be the next CEO of Nissan. And I was shocked in a way, humble, but very happy and very pleased to have the opportunity to lead this wonderful company that I've dedicated my life to.
But you've certainly seen all parts of the business. So all the major auto manufacturers are global in nature, but Nissan is a little unusual in terms of their structure and their history. So with that background, how do you navigate in terms of getting all the global operations cultures onto a single strategy and execute a game plan?
Well, in a way, maybe I would say it's easy for me because I always say like I'm Mexican, but I was born and raised in Nissan because this is where I started my journey. In a way, I have a very deep network in the company. I also understand because of all these roles that I've had and that I've moved around different regions. I understand where our strengths lie and also where the areas of opportunity are. Spending all my life in Nissan, I know how to deal with Japanese culture, Japanese business culture. Right. In a way, it's somehow easy for me, I would say, because I'm not seen as an outsider. When I was appointed CEO, first thing I did was to, of course, relook at what the state of the business was and choose my team. Yeah, so we made some changes in the senior leadership team. This is the people that trust me and I trust. So we had very open discussions about the state of the business and about what the expectations were. And the fact that we had to have a very strong alignment among us in order to drive Nissan back where it belongs.
Right. Well, autos have always been a cyclical, very competitive business. It's been made even more difficult with tariffs and other trade issues. So how do you maintain your flexibility and cost competitiveness given these disruptions?
Well, the good thing about Nissan is the global footprint that we have. We have manufacturing operations in almost every continent of the world. The difficulty was that we were too big for the revenue that we were commanding. So we couldn't entertain such a big industrial footprint in terms of capacity. So with the Nissan Plan, what we did was to resize this industrial footprint, but keeping the flexibility. So we keep our coverage worldwide in terms of industrial operations, which is a very good thing these days because with all the geopolitics that are happening, every week you wake up and you read something new. So having this flexibility is, of course, a good strength, which we are keeping, but we are resizing a bit the total capacity that we have installed in our industrial system.
And the Nissan Plan, you lay out some very specific targets. How is it going so far? And have you had to change any of that because of what's been going on in terms of tariffs?
Yeah, well, the targets, as you said, were very specific. So we're aiming to saving 250 billion yen in fixed costs and 250 billion yen in variable costs versus the FY24 result. And we have put in place a lot of measures. Of course, on one end, on the fixed costs, you have a restructuring of the operations, where we had to make some difficult decisions, like closing some factories. So we have made a lot of progress in a relatively short amount of time. On the variable cost side, we put in place a very specific program. So it takes some time, but we start to see the ramping up of the savings coming through. So the progress is good, is solid, but we still have a lot of work to do.
Yeah. Right. Speaking of electric vehicles, so it seems like the industry and the market is changing the forecast and the adoption globally. Is that something that you'll also change your forecast, and how does that affect your production?
Right. No, you're absolutely spot on. And we've seen changes in many markets in the world. Probably the one that has changed the least is China, where you still see a new energy vehicle mix strong. There's some adjustment in between the EV and the plug-in hybrids, but the reality is the mix of new energy vehicles is still strong. We do think that the electric vehicle will remain as a final goal, let's say, we start to see a window of more hybridization in the market. So, and this is true for Europe and also true for the US.
Right. You mentioned China. You've got a product introduction coming up there. Talk a little bit about, given the overcapacity competitiveness in that market, how you're positioning that product and your go-to-market plans.
The customers have evolved differently and they have moved into their own very unique requirements and tastes. Technology moved very quickly, and also the new energy vehicle trend grew dramatically. So this asked us or pushed us to really rethink our go-to-market strategy, where we put, again, the Chinese customer at the center. So this product is planned, designed, and engineered in China. Thanks to this product, we have now 3 months in a row of year-over-year sales growth, coming after multiple months of decline in our sales performance. So the formula is working, and it's a proof that the Nissan brand is still very relevant in China, which is the toughest market in the world.
In terms of product development, how are you using AI, intelligent vehicles, and how does your partnership with other manufacturers play into that in terms of innovation, technology, and cost efficiencies?
Well, AI is really changing the way we do things, yeah. And as part of Nissan, one of the targets that we gave ourselves was to shorten our development process.
Right.
We are doing all this across the different stages of the process, where we have shortened a lot the testing process, for example. The way we utilize prototype parts. There's many things where AI is playing a very interesting role. Yeah. I'm convinced that we will be doing a very good, or surprising our customers in a very positive way.
Okay, very good. Well, that's obviously a lot on your plate. Imor, we want to thank you for spending some time with us today, and best wishes on all your efforts.
Thank you very much. I enjoyed a lot of the time. Thank you, Mark.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.